Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Gold Spun by Brandy June. It's a magical retelling. I'm just going to read it off the back here. Magical retelling of Rumplestilskin that gives the miller's daughter of the original fairy tale a life, a purpose, and most importantly, a name. Names, after all, are always powerful. So I do want to show off my Bookish Box exclusive edition real quick to you guys. I do think they missed the mark here with these edges. I do think, instead of this yellow orangey gold here, they should have just done gold. I think that would have been so much better. And everyone I work with at the bookstore agreed with me. And here is also the interior, the reversible dust jacket. Nice gloss cover here, and of course this also did come with the author's autograph and additional artwork inside along with custom end pages. Just in case you were thinking about looking at the Bookish Box, this is the kind of stuff that you get. Now, as for the story itself, the author does open up with an epigraph, right? Yeah. Quoting the Brothers Grimm. So, I'm going to read that to you real quick. In a certain kingdom, once lived a poor miller who had a very beautiful daughter. She was, moreover, exceedingly shrewd and clever, and the miller was so vain and proud of her that he one day told the king of the land that his daughter could spin gold out of straw. I think we all know the story of Rumplestilskin. It is one of those classic fairy tales we're all familiar with. The miller's daughter, she's crying, right? She's crying at her father's, lie, because if she doesn't spin the straw into gold, off with her head, right? So she has no idea what's going to happen, so she's crying, she's locked in her tower, she's crying. Up comes a mystical being. He said, I'll do this for you, but the price is I want your firstborn son. She agrees, She just agrees because it's like going to be her life. Otherwise, who wouldn't agree to that? Firstborn son comes around, she wants out of the deal. Like I said, she's clever. And he said, okay, fine. You have this long to figure out my name. If you don't figure out my name, your son's mine. Basically, I'm just paraphrasing the fairy tale from what I remember. And she's clever. She figures it out. And I thought that was very impressive. That the Brothers Grimm, really did highlight the fact that this woman without a name was exceedingly clever. She figured out Rumple's name when no one else could. And bravo to her. So, nor is, I would say she's as clever as the original miller's daughter. What I like about her is how she's a con artist. That's very different. Very different. She's one of 4 children, second oldest daughter. Second oldest, and she's the only daughter. She does these cons because she is trying to keep her family alive. In their kingdom, there was a war and there's lots of poverty now, a lot of neglect. So both of her parents are dead. Her father died in the war. Mother died of illness. Eldest daughter, not long after. So it's just her and her brothers now, and I love the family unit. I love how they're all in this together. In their con game, they're just like, okay, we are going to do this, we're going to do this as a family. So they are a tight-knit group. They all love each other very much, and that's what I really appreciated about the story. how they stick together through thick and thin. Again, they are a family of con artists, but the cons are really, it's just a means of survival for them. They're not exploiting people because they can and want to. They're doing it so that they can, eat. They can eat, they can survive, they can live. So you do have to empathize with them. You do sympathize as well with them, especially Nora, because she's the clever one. She's the one who's doing everything she can to keep her family together. And on her way home, story starts off, she's on her way home, and she stumbles upon two guys, and they have a Fae hostage, and she's just like, if I can get this Fae and stop and sell him off, well then I'll have enough money to feed my family. So her thought isn't, oh, I'm going to save this Fae because I want to. Her thought is her family. So she ends up saving the Fae. Things don't go according to plan, obviously. So he gives her some gold. A nice bit of gold thread, right? And she's just like, I can do a con out of this. And of course, he catches the prince's eye. He's going to be king soon, and he does not like liars. He's just like, oh, I'm going to catch you in your con. And if you can't do what you say you can do, you're going to be exiled from the kingdom. Right? Not just her entire family. She's like, oh shit, what did I do? She's like, no, it's okay. No, it's fine. No. She's trying so hard to get out of it, and I do love it. I love the humor that Brandon June kind of like slips in there in the narrative and then in the dialogue. I think it's really well done because it really does bring Nora's personality to life. I think it really does make her an even more engaging protagonist to follow. And that's what I liked about it. I think Nora is really what holds your interest because you are following her, and she's a con artist, and now she's getting swept up in the kingdom and in this battle, this war really between the Fae and her kingdom. Now she owes Pell, the Fae, that's the name he gives her. And she's like, is that your real name? He's like, no, I would never give you my real name. If I gave you my real name, you could control me, like names have power. And it's really interesting to see their dynamic. There is a hint that there's going to be like a love triangle, but what I like is the fact that June doesn't really go with it. She hints at it. There are some allusions to it, especially when you consider the way that Pell, he wants to kind of keep June safe because she fascinates him. She's like, he says this a lot. He's like, you're very interesting for a human. He says it a lot. So you really are seeing this camaraderie form between them. He kind of just saves her repeatedly, actually. But I like that. And I also like that there is no tangible love triangle because sometimes love triangles, when you read enough fiction, they kind of become a little cliche. I don't mind that there's this camaraderie between them and there's this kind of hint. She is attracted to him. That's in the book. She is attracted to him. But June doesn't go all the way with it. She doesn't follow through with it, which I think gives a little bit more credence to the camaraderie and the friendship that develops between them, because it's not just this cliche romance. And the same thing can be said for Nora and the prince as well. She starts off the romance by building up a strong, friendly, almost argumentative relationship between these characters. They start as friends first. Well, no, they're a little antagonistic to each other. And then they reach understandings, and they're discussing and they're talking and they're expressing their ideals. And she does this with both of them, with Nora's relationship with both of the male characters. And then with one, she hints at the romance, and the other one, she's going to go through with the romance. Again, it's believable and it's not so cliche, because she started off with this friendship dynamic, where rather antagonistic, and then friendship, and then romantic. It's a really nice build, because you're seeing how these characters mesh with one another. You're seeing that chemistry that develops between them. So it really does drive some of that tension in the plot, and it really does drive the character development as well, especially when Nora kind of calls the kingdom out. It's just like, you have all this food. Do you know people are still living out there with rations? And they're like, oh no, we got rid of the rations a long time ago. And it's like, you may have gotten rid of the rationing. That doesn't mean people are still not rationing, because there's not enough food in your kingdom. Like, are you aware of that? She lives in poverty. She lives in poverty with her family. She sees the other side, that these people are too, ignorant about, they either choose to be ignorant, or they just don't care, So I like that Nora repeatedly kind of calls them out on it and says, hey, just because this is how the things are in the city, outside the city walls, that's not how things are. You need to care about the people who are outside the city walls. And I like that about her. Again, she's a con artist, but she has some morals and some ethics, and she wants to help the kingdom be better, because she wants to help the people who are in positions that she's familiar with. All the orphans of the war, all the people who died, who are malnourished, who are sick. And I really do like that kind of subplot in the story as well. So it's a really good Rumplestilskin retelling. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the ending was just kind of jaw-dropping, especially because you as the reader, you know more than Nora does. There's like this fairy tale in the story that Nora tells, and she tells it to Pell, and he's like, where did you hear that? Because it's not a fairy tale, it is fact. And I don't want to spoil it. Like when you read it, you'll know. And the author doesn't bring it to fruition. And you're just like, what? When I got the end, I'm like, what? This is it? No. I have questions. I have theories. I need an answer to see how this is going to end. So luckily, this is only a book 1 of 2. I think it's a duology or a trilogy. All I know is that there's going to be a second book, which is good, because I need it in my hands. I need the book in my hands. I need to read it. Everyone knows how I say things in 3 sometimes when I get really excited. It was a really good book, jaw-dropping ending. Love the character development, and I love the pacing. I love the tension. I love how everything just kind of comes together overall. So once again, this is Gold Spun by Brandy June. If you're going to go ahead and purchase the book, all I ask is that you purchase the book from your local bookseller or online book retailer. If money's tight, check out the book from your local library. I just ask that you give your support to bookstores and booksellers versus Amazon. Please. Amazon gets enough business, especially on a day like today. Please just give your business to a local bookseller or online book retailer. That's all I ask. I will include some links in the description below. And I hope you all continue to support me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Please don't forget to share with all your book loving friends. You can also become a supporter on Buy Me a Coffee or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. Happy reading, everyone.